Tonight, America is mourning. We didn't just lose a star, we lost a legend, a piece of history.
The news came quietly like a sudden change in the weather. On an ordinary morning, many woke to the tragic confirmation that Mel Schilling, the gentle voice who guided hearts through confusion and pain, had passed away. In homes across the world, televisions were switched on with disbelief. Social media feeds filled with memories, gratitude, and sorrow. For years, Mel Schilling had been more than a television personality. She was a trusted companion during uncertain moments of love. Her calm presence and thoughtful advice helped people understand their feelings when words were hard to find. Through her work, she became a symbol of patience, empathy, and emotional strength. Born with a natural curiosity about human behavior, she built her career around understanding relationships. Her early journey was shaped by academic study and professional practice in psychology. Yet it was her warm communication style that truly set her apart. She spoke in a way that felt simple, honest, and deeply human. Her breakthrough came when she stepped into the world of television. Audiences quickly connected with her sincerity. She did not speak down to people or offer quick solutions. Instead, she listened. She encouraged reflection. She reminded viewers that love was not about perfection but about growth. Week after week, millions watched her help couples navigate difficult conversations. She often paused before responding, choosing words with care. That pause became her signature. It showed respect for emotions and for the fragile moments people shared in front of the camera. One former colleague shared in a tribute, "Mel had a rare gift. She made people feel safe even when their lives were falling apart." Another public figure wrote online, "Her advice changed how I speak to the people I love." She didn't just talk about relationships. She helped rebuild them. Behind the scenes, she was known for her dedication. Long after filming ended, she would stay to comfort participants who struggled with rejection or heartbreak. Crew members remembered her quiet kindness. A producer once said, "She never treated this as entertainment. She treated it as real life." Her influence extended far beyond television screens. Through books, interviews, and live talks, she reached audiences in different corners of the world. Many described her as a teacher who explained complex emotions in simple ways. She encouraged self-awareness and reminded people that vulnerability was not weakness. In an age of fast judgments and short attention spans, her message felt refreshing. She asked people to slow down, to truly listen, to ask themselves difficult questions about trust, fear, and hope. This approach resonated deeply with younger generations searching for meaning in modern relationships. Fans often shared personal stories about how her guidance changed their lives. One viewer wrote, "I learned to forgive because of her words." Another posted, "She helped me find the courage to leave a toxic relationship and start again." These voices became a living testament to her lasting impact. Despite her public success, she remained grounded. Friends described her as thoughtful and reflective. She valued quiet moments and meaningful conversations. Even in fame, she stayed committed to her purpose, helping people understand love in all its complicated forms. In recent years, she continued to work with the same passion. Her advice evolved with changing times, but her core belief remained the same. Love required honesty. Love required patience. Love required the willingness to grow. As news of her passing spread, tributes poured in from around the globe. Television networks replayed her most memorable moments. Viewers watched again as she gently guided someone through tears, disappointment, or self-doubt. In those moments, her voice felt as comforting as ever. A family statement described her as a light who believed deeply in human connection. They thanked fans for the kindness shown during a time of great loss. Messages of support continued to arrive, forming a collective expression of gratitude for the life she had lived. Her absence leaves a quiet space in the world of relationship guidance. Yet her teachings remain. They live on in conversations between partners trying to understand each other. They live on in individuals learning to set boundaries and value themselves. They live on in every act of compassion inspired by her example. Mel Schilling's journey was never about fame alone. It was about healing. It was about reminding people that even broken hearts could find their way back to hope. Through her gentle wisdom, she changed how many approached love and communication. Now, as the world says goodbye, her legacy continues to shine softly. She will be remembered not just as a television expert, but as a guide who helped hearts speak more clearly. And in that lasting memory, her voice will continue to echo, calm, caring, and forever devoted to the beauty of human connection. Her broken heart sparkles. The confirmation came in a quiet wave of headlines and breaking reports. On that still morning, the literary world paused as news spread that Tracy Kidder, the writer who made truth feel deeply human, had passed away. Libraries, classrooms, and reading rooms felt the silence in a different way. It was the silence that follows the loss of a guiding voice. For decades, Tracy Kidder had been known as a master of nonfiction storytelling. He did not simply report facts. He stepped into real lives and carefully brought their stories into the light. Through his words, readers felt the pressure of innovation, the struggle of compassion, and the quiet strength of determination. Born with a deep curiosity about how people shape the world around them, his journey toward writing began early. He was drawn to real events and real emotions. This interest led him into journalism and later into literary nonfiction, where he found his true purpose. He believed that truth could be powerful if it was told with care. His breakthrough moment arrived when his detailed reporting and emotional storytelling began to capture national attention. Readers were struck by his ability to turn complex topics into deeply personal experiences. Engineers, doctors, teachers, and everyday individuals became central figures in his narratives. Through them, he explored the meaning of progress and human effort. Winning the Pulitzer Prize marked a turning point in his career. It was not just recognition of his skill, but of his commitment to honest storytelling. One fellow writer shared in tribute, "Tracy showed us that facts can carry heart. He changed how many of us approached our craft." His influence began to spread far beyond the pages of his books. In classrooms, his works became essential reading. Students discovered that nonfiction could feel as alive as fiction. Teachers praised his clarity and emotional balance. He did not rush stories or simplify struggles. Instead, he trusted readers to sit with the truth and reflect. Throughout his career, he traveled extensively to understand the people he wrote about. He listened more than he spoke. Friends recalled how he would spend hours observing small details. A gesture, a pause, a quiet conversation. These moments later became powerful scenes that stayed with readers long after the final page. A former editor once said, "He respected his subjects deeply. He never treated their lives as material. He treated them as partners in truth." This approach helped him build lasting relationships and earned him the trust of many who shared their personal journeys. Beyond his professional success, Tracy Kidder was known for his humility. He avoided the spotlight whenever possible. He preferred thoughtful discussion over public praise. Yet his work continued to shape the direction of modern journalism and narrative writing. In recent years, he remained active in literary circles, offering guidance to young writers. Workshops and speaking events gave him opportunities to share lessons about patience, ethics, and emotional honesty. One social media tribute read, "He taught us that storytelling is not about fame. It is about responsibility." Readers across generations found comfort in his steady voice. His books often explored difficult realities, but they also carried hope. He believed that understanding one another could lead to meaningful change. This belief became a quiet thread connecting all his work. As news of his passing reached the public, tributes poured in from authors, journalists, and devoted readers. Many shared passages that had inspired them during uncertain times. Others posted photos of worn book covers, symbols of journeys taken through his words. His family described him as a man who valued curiosity and kindness above all else. In a brief statement, they thanked readers for honoring his memory. They spoke of his love for simple moments, long walks, thoughtful conversations, and the joy of discovering new ideas. The literary world now faces a future without his steady guidance. Yet his influence continues to live on in the stories he helped shape. Writers still study his techniques. Readers still return to his books when searching for meaning in real events. Tracy Kidder's legacy is not only found in awards or headlines. It is found in the deeper connection between truth and emotion that he helped create. He reminded the world that Rayal's stories deserve patience, respect, and heart. As the final chapter of his own story closes, his words remain open for others to discover. In quiet libraries and busy classrooms, his voice still whispers through every page turned. And in that lasting presence, he continues to make truth feel alive. a gentle reminder that honest storytelling can shape how humanity understands itself. Books of Sparkles. The confirmation arrived softly, like the fading of music after a final scene. On that quiet day, tragic news was confirmed that Valerie Perrine, the fearless performer who once lit up the silver screen with both glamour and truth, had passed away. Across film communities and devoted fan circles, memories began to surface. It was a moment filled with reflection, gratitude, and gentle sorrow. Valerie Perrine's journey through Hollywood began during a time of great change. The film industry was exploring new ideas and deeper emotions. In this evolving world, she stood out. Her presence was striking, but it was her honesty as an actress that truly captured attention. From her earliest roles, she showed a rare willingness to take risks. She stepped into characters who were complex and emotionally layered. Audiences did not just watch her performances. They felt them. She brought vulnerability to the screen in a way that made even the most glamorous scenes feel real and human. Her breakthrough came with roles that challenged traditional ideas of female characters. She portrayed women who were strong yet fragile, confident yet searching for meaning. Critics often praised her courage in choosing stories that demanded emotional depth. One film historian later said, "Valerie helped open doors. She showed that beauty and bravery could exist in the same moment." As her career grew, so did her influence. She became a familiar face in American cinema during a period when storytelling was becoming more personal and daring. Directors admired her dedication. Co-stars remembered her kindness and her quiet focus before filming important scenes. A fellow actor once shared in tribute, "She had a calm strength. When the camera started rolling, she transformed the entire atmosphere." Another public figure wrote online, "Her performances taught us that fearlessness is not about being loud. Sometimes it is about being deeply honest." Behind the bright lights of Hollywood, she faced her own challenges. Like many artists of her generation, she navigated pressure, changing expectations, and the passage of time in an industry known for constant reinvention. Yet she remained committed to her craft. She continued to appear in projects that reflected her passion for storytelling. Fans often spoke about the emotional connection they felt while watching her films. For many, she represented a new kind of heroine. Not perfect, not distant, but relatable and sincere. One social media tribute read, "She made us believe that our struggles could also hold beauty." Her influence extended beyond individual performances. Young actresses studied her work to understand how to balance strength with sensitivity. Film scholars discussed her roles as part of a larger movement that reshaped how women were portrayed on screen. Through her choices, she helped push cinema toward greater authenticity. Away from the cameras, friends described her as reflective and warm. She valued meaningful conversations more than public recognition. Quiet moments with loved ones brought her joy. In later years, she often expressed gratitude for the journey she had experienced, even with its hardships. As news of her passing spread, film archives revisited her most memorable scenes. Audiences watched again as she delivered lines filled with quiet emotion or stood silently in moments that spoke louder than words. These memories became shared acts of remembrance. Her family released a brief statement describing her as a spirit of courage and grace. They thanked fans for their continued love and support. Messages poured in from across the world, forming a collective tribute to a life lived with artistic passion. The film industry now says farewell to a performer who helped shape an important era. Yet her work continues to inspire. Each time a classic scene is replayed or a young actor discovers her films for the first time, her presence feels close once again. Valerie Perrine's legacy is not only found in awards or magazine covers. It lives in the emotional truth she brought to her roles. She reminded audiences that strength can be quiet and that vulnerability can shine brightly. As the curtain gently falls on her remarkable journey, her influence remains woven into the history of cinema. In dimly lit theaters and glowing television screens, her performances continue to speak. And in those lasting images, she will always be remembered. A fearless performer whose grace helped change the way stories were told. Clapperboard of Sparkles.